Hi, you're listening to the Coffee and Books podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Welcome to my book talk. Today we're talking about The Bomber Mafia by Malcolm Gladwell. It is a dream, a temptation, and the longest night in the Second World War. This book is a #1 New York Times best-selling book, and it was written by #1 New York Times best-selling author, Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell, if you're not familiar, has tons of great books that he's written over the past about 10 years or so. I enjoy him personally. He gets on random topics and he talks about things and kind of hyperfixates on something. In this case, this book hyperfixates on precision bombing, which is a development that happened during World War II. So my personal review of this book is that I enjoyed it very much because it gave me a great understanding of how the concept of precision bombing developed. It's a concept in warfare that is pretty common today, specifically through drone strikes and other methods of warfare. But in particular, this book kind of talks about the history of how that evolved, how we went kind of during World War I to bombing everything, and sending out as many bombs as possible, to during World War II, changing that mindset, in particular when attacking the Japanese. This was something that was developed inside of the United States, and we kind of see that things like the atomic bomb were developed later on, but that was just another avenue that the U.S. had decided to go down. There was this possibility of not using the atomic bomb, and that was always a consideration. So having said all that, what did I think of this book? I give it a 4 out of 5. I give it a 4 stars out of 5 because while I enjoyed the book immensely, I felt like sometimes if you're not familiar with this author, it can kind of seem like he's rambling. He's not. I like to ramble, as most of you already know. But I digress. This is something that you would be interested in if you like World War II and history, and you have any interest in learning about warfare, or you just like this guy because you know how he talks and you know what he talks about and how he makes comparisons to things that shouldn't normally have comparisons to. That's what this guy does. And that's what makes him such a good author to sort of read and listen to his podcasts. And this book started as a concept of a podcast that got developed into a book, and you can kind of see that. It's a very quick read. It's probably my only real complaint is that this book, lasts very, short amount of time for me. I can read it in less than a week, a couple of days if I had nothing better to do. But anyway, I recommend it, so check it out. Bomber Mafia, it's out now. Best-selling book, came out last year. It's by Malcolm Gladwell. 4 out of 5. Don't forget to like and subscribe.